Here we are at the end of the year, and you know what that means? It's time to count down the top 10 games of 2024. From JRPGs to platformers to action-adventure titles, this year has delivered a fantastic lineup of games. Let's dive in. Kicking off the list at number 10 is Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Fans have been asking to play as Zelda in a core title for years, and Nintendo has finally delivered with a result that is mostly successful. Unlike Link, Zelda wields a magical rod instead of a sword and shield, allowing her to copy and duplicate nearly any object in the game. This mechanic opens the door to countless fun puzzles and unique gameplay opportunities. The game reuses a charming art style from 2019's Link's Awakening remake, which is a welcome choice and looks fantastic even on the aging Nintendo Switch. However, performance issues and a cumbersome menu UI slightly hold it back. Despite these flaws, Zelda's first adventure as the main hero is a triumphant addition to the series. And number 9 is Tekken 8. The long-running fighting game series returns with a bang. In comparison to Tekken 7, it's leaps and bounds better looking thanks to the move to Unreal Engine 5, and the new heat system mechanic adds engaging risk-reward gameplay that I love. The story and arcade modes are fantastic, with cinematic moments that are visually amazing. My only real gripe is that the modes are fairly short, so for someone like myself who's more of a casual fighting game fan, I find there wasn't much left after 10 or so hours of gameplay. That said, Tekken 8 is easily the best in the series. Next up at number 8 is the very recently released Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is essentially Overwatch but with Marvel characters, and while that might not sound particularly original, it's an exciting proposition considering the sharp decline Overwatch has experienced in recent years. While it's still early days to see how Marvel Rivals will evolve, it's off to a good start with a pleasing art style, well-designed skins, and a truly staggering roster of 33 characters. That said, there are some teething issues, such as a Battle Pass progression system that needs tweaking, and the absence of a role queue, which often results in a lack of healers. But overall, Marvel Rivals shows immense potential and should, at the very least, push Blizzard to improve Overwatch. Number 7 goes to Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong is an action RPG inspired by the Chinese novel Journey to the West. Ever since its reveal, it caught everyone's attention, almost looking too good to be true. Thankfully, the game isn't just a visual spectacle, it's also a legitimately fun experience. While it's not a Souls-like game, Black Myth Wukong draws inspiration from FromSoft's titles, particularly in its gripping boss battles and atmospheric world building. The game generally strikes a solid balance in difficulty. It's more challenging than something like God of War, but a little less punishing than a typical FromSoft title, making it more approachable for a wider audience. Although it is visually stunning, the game initially suffered from performance and input lag issues. Fortunately, a recent patch has addressed these issues, improving the overall experience. Number 6 goes to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's been years since the last Tenkaichi game, and this sequel, using the Japanese naming convention, is exactly what fans have been waiting for. With a massive roster of 182 characters, the largest in any Dragon Ball game, it's the ultimate fan service. The story mode revisits the classic sagas while also introducing alternative events. While some are less engaging, others offer genuinely intriguing scenarios. True to the anime, Sparking Zero doesn't aim for balance. Characters like Krillin are far weaker than Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. To offset this, there is an online mode that uses a destruction value system where players build teams with a 15-point cap. This mechanic adds a fun, strategic layer that keeps matches fresh and exciting. For longtime fans, this is the Dragon Ball game we've all been waiting for. Taking the 5th spot is Metaphor ReFantazio, a JRPG based on the Persona series, but with a fresh twist in its fantasy setting. As you'd expect with a Persona-like game, it's a great mix of building relationships and dungeon crawling with turn-based combat. I will say I prefer the Persona games. I think the modern setting better suits its social gameplay elements, but that's not to say Metaphor ReFantazio isn't a welcome change. Its story focuses on the protagonist's journey to becoming king and covers serious topics such as racism and discrimination. Graphically, it is a little lacking at times, however it more than compensates with its exceptional art direction. Metaphor ReFantazio is an extremely well designed Persona spin-off and one I really hope we see more of in the future. And number 4 is Persona 3 Reload. While Persona 3 is a truly great game, it's nearly 20 years old and visually showing its age. This remake was exactly what was needed to breathe new life into it. The game adopts the sleek aesthetics of Persona 5, arguably even surpassing it. Its UI design is incredibly fluid and visually appealing, while the remastered music sounds great. The Fez expansion wasn't included in the base game, but was thankfully later offered as DLC. Additionally, the absence of the female protagonist from the PSP version is a missed opportunity. Not a deal breaker, but it would have been a welcome inclusion. One major highlight is the fully voiced social links, which significantly enhances the experience. Persona 3 Reload is an outstanding remake that reimagines the classic and highlights why it's so loved. Jumping into the top 3, we have Stellar Blade. Truth be told, I had very little interest in the game prior to release. I felt like the game and its character designs looked a little bit generic, but I tried to give it a chance a few months after release, and I'm so glad I did. Stellar Blade draws clear inspiration from Nier Automata, showcasing polished combat, a mesmerizing soundtrack, and an intricately designed world building. It also stands out as one of the best looking games on the PS5 Pro. That said, one aspect I disliked was the over-the-top sexualization of the main character Eve. More than anything, it felt distracting and out of place in an otherwise serious game. Still, setting that aside, Stellar Blade is such a joy to play that I ended up beating it twice and even going for the platinum. Just shy of Game of the Year at number 2 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the highly anticipated second entry in the planned trilogy remake of the beloved classic. Expectations were sky high following the success of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Rebirth more than delivers. Is nothing short of amazing. Unlike its predecessor, the game is much more open and has even more content. In some ways, the story is a little less cohesive and more filler than Part 1, but some of its more slice-of-life moments also happen to be its best. With the launch of the PS5 Pro, it got an update that gives you both enhanced graphical fidelity and 60 FPS, alleviating some of the issues it has on a base PS5. Rebirth finished on an extremely high note, and I'm excited for the third and final game. And that leads us to the Game of the Year for 2024, Astro Bot. It's an incredible celebration of gaming and proof that platformers are still as relevant as ever. Each stage feels like a brand new experience thanks to its varied level design and host of fun novelty items that keep the gameplay fresh from start to finish. One thing fans loved about the free 2020 release of Astro's Playroom was the gaming cameos, and Team Asobi has doubled down on this. A ton of the 300 plus collectible bots are based on iconic gaming characters, all of which can be interacted with in the game's hub world with fun animations. Seeing them accumulate over the course of the adventure evokes a deeply nostalgic sense of satisfaction. Astro Bot isn't just a brilliant platformer, it's a love letter to gaming history, brimming with creativity and charm. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for a notification each time I upload new content. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next video.